All right, we are live.
Mm-hmm.
Would you feel comfortable of giving a brief summary?
Do you want me to give the summary?
Yeah, just a brief summary about the case.
Let's see. So the Ritz Carlton Hotel, they're trying to partner up with another hotel-like company to make more extravagant hotels. But what's his name? James? No, not James.
You're talking about Collins, the investor, or McBride?
Collins, the guy from Millennium
Yeah,
Partners, wants them to change that 7 days before opening, whatever it was called again.
right.
So they're just contemplating if it should be changed or not changed, or what should be changed, kind of thing. That's what I got from it, at least.
Yeah, it's I don't know. For me, I thought this case study wasn't as complicated as they made it out to be, even with all the input that they gave, which was a lot of content. Um, but I guess if Brian Collins, is the one putting in the money, it puts a little pressure on McBride, James McBride, as to should he listen to him or go with what Ritz Carlton has pretty much proven over the years by doing their 7-day training. Um, and in my past experience with work in general, I feel like training is the best thing you can do for any employee. Um, I mean, the sales will come, but they come consistently if your staff is trained well. I know Collins is just looking at the dollar signs because he
Yeah,
invested.
he is.
But you gotta think about the longevity of the company, I think, and the hotel itself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, some questions. Would you know how to define competitive advantage?
A competitive advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
A competitive advantage, I feel like you have something that other people can't offer, something that's unique to you. It's funny because I have a sister-in-law who works for the Ritz Carlton, and I've seen her early stages when she got hired, and now she's in HR. So it's kind of cool to get an inside scoop about how they operate. But she says every day, each guest can be, um, what's the word she said? Well, they're all given a $2,000 limit. So, for example, there was a couple who um, reserved a room at the Ritz Carlton. They had brought their baby, and they brought with their baby um, a bassinet or a portable crib.
Oh yeah.
But that crib broke um, in baggage claim as they were handling it when they got to the Ritz Carlton. So when they arrived, they asked if the Ritz had a portable crib that they could offer us because theirs broke in transport. and they said, you know what, we'll just buy you one. So they bought them a brand new crib, but the way that works is, like I said, there's a $2,000 limit per person per day. Um, the guests don't know that, but if they need something, whatever it is, the Ritz will go out and get it for them, just to keep their customers happy, which is pretty impressive in my eyes. So when it comes to competitive advantage, if people truly knew that that's what Ritz was doing, I think they definitely have a leg up over the competition.
Yeah, they're very focused on the service that they're giving and resolving the conflict as quickly as possible. I think also they go through very rigorous hiring, that they only kind of allow the best of the best.
That is for sure.
We try and find those.
Yeah. My my sister-in-law got the job because she had a friend that was related to someone who was high up in management.
Mm,
It is really hard to get in with the Ritz Carlton.
like that.
I know I tried a while back, and I had a friend in there, but they really want somebody, um, and great customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I can't or don't have that personality, but yeah, you're right. They're rigorous in their hiring process, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, it's a really good thing because the Ritz is usually synonymous with wealthy, well trained kind of things.
Yeah,
So we have to
ladies
try
and
and
gentlemen.
get those employees that will act that way.
Where do
Will
you live
treat.
again, Maria? What's
I live in Kansas.
Kansas? Do they have a Ritz Carlton near you?
I don't think so. I've just always heard of the Ritz.
Yeah, there's a. I live in Los Angeles, and there's two that I know of. One in downtown, where kind of like the Collins wants. They have condominiums
Oh yeah, yeah.
for those who want to, live there at a portion, and those I think are on the top floors. And then they have a portion where it's just hotel rooms.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then the one where my sister-in-law works, it's closer to the airport in Santa Monica
Oh,
and the
true.
temple. But it's crazy because they take care of all the out-of-town basketball teams and some
Mm-hmm.
other sports teams, because it's away from the city but close to the airport. And
Mm-hmm.
so she sees a lot of NBA teams come through there. Um, they practice. There's a basketball court in the hotel. That's where they practice before their games. And she just meets a lot of celebrities that go through there, which is pretty crazy.
I bet.
Let's see here. Training. Um, One of the questions is, why is Collins pushing for a longer time frame?
Well, I understood he wants to make the capacity 80% sooner instead of starting at 50. He kind of wants to start at 50 and hit the ground running instead of walking.
Yeah.
He wants to get his money back faster.
Yes, he does.
Darn him. But because he did, his company, I guess, donated 700 million.
Yeah.
That is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Not that I'm gonna bow down to him because of all that money, but I think it gives him some influence and opinions.
It's true. But I think he's got to realize it's an investment, and he, particular of who he wanted, and he picked Ritz Carlton for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So why is he trying to shake up how they operate? Which is kind of my big question to him. It's like, I thought you did your and seeing who you would want to invest with, is trying to jump in blindly, which I don't think he did, but
yeah, no, because Ritz had built up itself a name by then, and so that's why they invested. So.
One other question it asks, are there other ways that staff could get experience without delaying the opening?
One thing I was thinking is maybe instead of just 7 days, have like a full week, so a full 5 days of them doing their service thing. That'd make it lengthen to 8 days, maybe 8 or 9. Instead of just having those 3 days of role playing and stuff.
Right. That's one way to do it, definitely. I don't know that there's, like I said, I don't know that there's much to discuss on this case. Even though there's a lot of content, to me, it seemed
it seemed relatively, like they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say, lengthen. Instead of 3 days, have it at least a week long. So they can maybe start feeling a bit more comfortable and then possibly start higher than 50%.
I think so too.
Something else I wrote down on my analysis was asking those people, because it said that sometimes it felt like they were rushing and other times it didn't feel like they were rushing. Talk to those two different groups and see if it was like a personality thing or if it was actually the program that made them not feel comfortable enough in time.
That is really good. That makes sense. I mean, with James, his background, like he's been with the Ritz Carlton for a while. He's had success at other Ritz Carlton establishments. And, I just wonder why this is so much different from what he's experienced in the past. But I guess
because it's more than just a hotel. It's like we said, those condominiums and lots of restaurants and spas. It's more than just a hotel for them now.
That's true. He wasn't used to all of that.
Yeah.
After reviewing this case study, is there anything or principle that you feel like you could take with you, lessons learned for business in your future endeavors?
The only thing that came to mind for me was how they emphasized their visions and their values on the first 2 days, pounding that into them. I think that's what made him want to be the best, because he, what's his name? Like, lady and gentleman, because you're a lady, you're a gentleman. And so that was their values. Their dream was to be the best and let everyone feel like they're the best, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I like that. Full disclosure of what you want and what you intend to do with your company and moving forward. I think that's the best way to go about a business. Well, anyway, I think.
Hey guys, it's Trevor. Sorry I'm late.
To be honest, I was really just going to wrap it up, but do you have any thoughts on the case?
Let's see here. I think that, gosh, this was the Ritz Carlton, right? My thoughts are that I'm trying to remember what I wrote. Essentially, I think the general manager that was qualified to start the opening. You know what? Never mind. I can't remember what I wrote.
Yeah, there was
James help you.
McBride and Brian Collins. Brian Collins was the investor, and James was the experienced hotel manager that was given this opportunity.
Right.
How much influence do you think Collins should have, being that he invested $700 million into Ritz? You feel like he should be able to sway in or weigh in on some opening choices? That was like the huge dilemma.
So yeah, my opinion there is like the gentleman that opened these hotels, it's his business. He knows what he's doing, and Ritz has this very successful 7-day blitz where they train all of the employees, and they win awards based on the performance of their staff at their other hotels. They probably should just gently let your place is the money guy, is the hospitality to our business.
I like that. I was telling Maria, for me, this case was a no-brainer, but I don't know why. That I share your opinion that they each have a role. Let them stick to what they know best.
Yeah. So I do a lot of work with other businesses that are vendors with T-Mobile. I work for T-Mobile, and usually when we do agreements with other companies, the processes and the methods that we use, and even coming down to like the schedule roadmap, all well defined and very well understood and clear, so that we know what to expect from one another. One party can't infringe upon another's responsibility, or infringe upon or change the other party's processes, and it works. Everybody knows what to expect, and it doesn't. I don't recall here, but it doesn't sound like when Ritz Carlton signed this agreement with the investors that was really well understood. Like, for example, they've said, "Oh, we have a policy where we spend, 7.5 days prior to opening training staff, and that's just our policy. That is just our modus operandi, and we find that it's very successful. We do it all across the world, and we train the staff so that they know that they what they need to do, and that's why we win awards in the hospitality business, because we train these people correctly." So my point here, really, if I was going to make a suggestion, it would be that in future agreements, if they are going to do more business with those requirements, fine. So both parties know and understand roles and the way they operate.
No, I agree. Transparent from the get-go, then there's no, nothing's hidden, and there's no roadblocks in the future because you already know what's going to happen and when it happens. Well,
Dan,
I think
good
we're
to talk
good.
to you guys.
Does anyone want to lead next week?
I'll do that.
Next week.
I'll lead.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
For Thursday then.
Thursday
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock, right?
Yep. 8 Pacific.
8 Pacific. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.